How did you feel about this situation?
I was young. I just went along with it, to be honest with you. We all did, you know what I'm saying? Kind of,
I'm sorry, what was the last thing?
we just went along with it.
Did Mr. Rhodes, to your knowledge, did he ever show up with money from this price on the head business?
No, man.
After the shooting, what did you all do?
We went to Maurice and Larry's house.
Did all 5 of you go or just some of you?
We all went.
Okay. What happened at their house?
We didn't really talk about much. We just basically just told us not to tell nobody. That was it that I remember.
Okay. Did you all discuss it later amongst yourselves?
Not really. I mean, to be honest, we ain't never seen nobody like get shot, you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna lie, we was all scared, you know what I mean? It wasn't just them two, we was all scared, you know what I'm saying? Maurice, Larry, all of us, we was scared, man.
You were scared?
Yeah, we was young, you know what I'm saying? We just went along with it.
Did you all, any of you, discuss this prior to May 21st?
Yeah, me and Maurice did. And Larry. He told me he wasn't messing with Brice anymore because of the situation.
Judge, I'm going to object to yourself.
Did Brice Rhodes say anything?
No.
Okay. Did he say anything about Larry and Maurice?
Just said that he can't mess with them no more because they told their mom about the situation. He feared they would say something to the police.
So he believed they told their mother?
Yes, ma'am.
And what does he mean that you can't mess with them?
No,
What did you? I know you don't know, but what did you understand that to mean?
Judge, we object to speculation.
I'm going to sustain that.
Okay. Did he tell you anything that he thought should happen?
He feared they would tell him, so he was saying we can't mess with them no more. We got get him back for telling him. That's how I remember.
Get him back for telling?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he say anything more specific?
Not really, not that I remember.
Do you remember talking to Detective Tonelli about this?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think if you saw a transcript of your conversation that might help refresh your memory?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to approach your honor.
You may.
I'm going to show you page 10. Specifically.
Yes, ma'am.
Does that help refresh your memory? What did he tell you he wanted to do to them?
So we gotta kill him.
At that time, did you believe him?
Shocked. I mean, I didn't know what to believe, to be honest, because of the Christian Chris situation. I didn't really know. I just with it. I don't really know.
Where were you when he said this?
As I remember, it was just we was in the car one day. I don't remember what day. I don't remember what day. I just remember we was in the car and he was telling me this because Maurice was scared. You know what I'm saying? Like he was scared that he was gonna tell or whatever. So he was telling me that.
Judge, it's difficult for me to hear the answer, but I believe it's a mix of hearsay and non-hearsay. So we object to the hearsay part.
Sustain.
Let's move on to, well, in this time period, were there days when you saw Maurice and Larry?
Yeah, we was still with him every day after that.
Okay.
Me and Anwan was.
Were there days that you saw Brice Rhodes?
Yeah, at times, not often.
Okay. Tell us about May 21st, which I believe would have been that Saturday.
I remember riding around with my cousin, Q. Me and Anwan was riding around with Q that day.
So Q is the nickname of your another cousin?
That's my cousin.
So Q and Anwan and you were in a car?
Yes, ma'am.
What were you all doing?
Just riding around, females. Q had a girlfriend. We were just riding around. I was calling Maurice and he was calling Larry because we was trying to go back to their house that day. And just kept calling and stuff like that because we usually we'll go out, we'll be out that day, and like at the time I really didn't have nowhere to go. You know what I'm saying? So
Where were you living then?
that's the house.
House to house?
Different friends' house.
What was going on with your? Did you typically live with your mom or your dad?
I had issues with my family.
Okay. So did you? How long had it? Well, when you were really little, did you live with your mom or your dad or both?
My mom, for the most part. My dad got killed.
At that time, were you living with your mom?
Yeah, I was living with my mom off and on. That's the reason why I was bouncing from house to house, because I didn't know where to stay at the time.
Okay. Okay, so you had a cousin Q who was driving you around that day with Anwan. Was he also Anwan's cousin, or was it the other side of the family?
Q didn't really look at him as a cousin, but you could say that because Antoine, which is Anwan's brother, is Q's cousin too. That's my mom's sister.
Okay.
So we was all cousins anyway.
So do Anwan and Antoine have different moms or dads?
They got different moms, same dad.
Okay. So Antoine was your all's cousin, and he was Anwan's brother.
Mm-hmm.
So you are related to Anwan through that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. So you're riding around with Q. What happens?
Calling, I was calling Reese, calling him back to back, trying to see, we was trying to go over there that night. Something, as I remember, I said that, Maurice actually, he called me and let me know he was, I forget, at the time, no, I'm sorry about that, rephrase that. I called him to go over there, and we finally went over there. They was gone. Me and Butter went over, they was gone. And
So you went to the house where they lived with their mom,
yes, ma'am.
over by Iroquois Park,
Yes, ma'am.
and they were not there. Okay.
And I was confused because, he told me after Maurice was telling me that he wasn't hanging with him no more, and fooling Brice no more. I was confused on why he was still with him, and why they was still, with Brice after the situation with Chris. So I went there to spend the night. Me and Butter did, and we got there. Their cousin answered the door, and they wasn't there. They wasn't there that night. When we left, we kept calling Maurice's cell phone. I called Brice's cell phone, I was like, where Maurice and Larry at? And he said that they right here and stuff like that. And Maurice is in the background and Larry's in the background partying. There's people over there. I just thought everything was fine at that point. I didn't really think nothing like back when you asked me like was he serious? You know what I'm saying? Like about doing that to them. I mean, at that point I didn't think he was serious no more. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really think nothing of it. I thought he was just gonna let him live. We was all gonna be cool. You know, stuff like that. I didn't really think he was really gonna do that. I thought we was gonna party, so I insisted on going anyway. Even though Q and Anwan told me not to go, I insisted because I ain't had nowhere to go. Q and Anwan really could have went to their family. Me, I just wanted somewhere to stay at night. I ain't really wasn't thinking about hurting nobody or nothing like that. We wasn't thinking like that. Anwan didn't want to go. My cousin didn't want me to go, but I insisted on going anyway.
So you went to get someplace to stay?
Yes, ma'am. So we went to Brice's apartment that night. My cousin Q dropped me off. He dropped me and Anwan off.
Why didn't Q go?
Q didn't want me to go anyway. Q didn't really fool. He didn't really fool too much with Brice anyway. He didn't want me around him, so that's why he didn't really want me to go. And, we went that day. As I remember, it was people in the house. I believe a female and two guys, a female and a guy, as I remember. So and they was drinking. Everything was cool at that point. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was just in the house, you know, chilling. And I remember two other people being there, and I never seen them before. N1. Never seen them before.
Were Maurice and Larry there when you got there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it was Maurice, tell me if I get this right, Maurice, Larry, Brice Rhodes, a female, and two dudes you'd never seen before? Okay. And so at first everything's cool?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How long did everything stay cool?
Everything was cool until we was all drinking and we was all just there, and I didn't know the other two people that was there, the two gentlemen was there. So I'm really confused at that point. I didn't really we just partying, we kicking it, and then I remember that Brice said he asked Maurice, "Are you telling on me?" or something like that. Are you telling on me? Are you telling on me? Or something like that. Something like that. I just remember that part or something like that. He was asking questions and stuff like that. And Maurice had said something to me, and we was kind of arguing. We got into a dispute. And as I remember, that was before Brice had asked him, "Are you telling on me?" It had nothing to do about, you know, the situation. Me and Maurice just got into a dispute over the fact, like, we was all drinking, we was partying and stuff like that, and stuff kind of, you know what I'm saying? So, he asked him, like, "Are you telling on me?" And he kind of denied it, like, "Nah, I ain't doing that," stuff like that. At that point, he said we gotta violate him and stuff like that. I didn't understand. He just wanted, like, he just said violate him. And then, as I remember, before that, I just remember Maurice picked up a knife on me or whatever, and Brice had grabbed the knife from Maurice, and that's when he hit him. You know what I'm saying? He hit him.
So he hit who?
Hit Maurice.
And who is the one doing the hitting?
He hit Maurice because he picked up a knife on me.
But I'm sorry, just to be clear, who hit Maurice?
Brice.
Okay. Was the female still present at this point?
Female? Nah, everybody left. The female left because it was too many dudes there. As I recall, like, it was too many dudes at that point, so she left, and the other two people stayed, and Butter was there, and Maurice and Larry was there. But after that, he kind of, like, he didn't really go at me with the knife. He did, but he didn't. it was aggressive. So he hit him. Brice hit Maurice and made him put the knife. He grabbed the knife from him, and that's when he insisted on doing what he did.
Okay, so everything's cool. You and if I just tell me if I'm getting this timeline right. You and Maurice kind of get into a little argument.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, did you think it was a serious argument?
Now, we've been into it before, and next day we right back. We right back good. So I didn't think nothing of it. We didn't think to do it in that. It don't matter.
Okay.
To make it that serious to even. You know what I'm saying?
So when he pulled the knife, were you scared?
At that point, we all confused. You know what I'm saying?
No, I meant when Maurice pulled the knife.
I just kind of, I remember lunging, like,
Pardon?
I remember jumping back, like lunging back, like, you know what I'm saying?
And so at that point, Maurice pulls the knife. Mr. Rhodes takes the knife.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you said he hit him, was it a slap or a punch? Or what? Describe it however you remember it.
I don't remember. I know it was either slap or a punch. I just know he hit him, and he took the knife from him.
Where were you all in the apartment?
He was in the living room.
And was everybody standing, sitting?
So, we was standing at that point. Everybody was standing around.
Okay, so after the punch or hit, I'll say hit, is all this happening before or after he started talking about the violating?
I just know that he said we gotta violate him or something, violate them or violate him.
And is that after he hit him?
After he hit him, because
I'm just trying to get the timing. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so he says, so is that like disciplining?
Yes, violate whatever he was planning on doing. Violate somebody.
When he said that, what happened next?
He said something about, he told me to, Brice had told me to, he said, I want you to, he said, I want you to violate him. I was scared. So, I'm like, what you mean? He said, he's like, I want you to punch him in his chest. And if you hit him in his face, I'm gonna hit you. He told me it was my reach. Then, I just remember he had me punching him. He said, stop. Or something like that. And he had, I gotta tie him up. We gotta tie him up or something like that. As I remember. It's been a while, so I just remember certain detail like that. You know what I'm saying? That I can remember. But I just remember that he said we gotta tie him up, and tied him up, and pinned him down. And he stabbed Maurice, and
Who stabbed Maurice?
Brice did.
Okay. Was Maurice tied up at that point?
Yeah, he was tied up.
What was used to tie him up?
I don't really remember. I just remember that he was tied up. And
Who did the tying?
Brice did. And somebody else that was there. I don't really remember. I just know he was tied up, and he had a sock in his mouth, and he pinned him down, and he began stabbing. He made anyone stab him too.
Did you see where he was stabbing him?
Man, stomach, chest, stuff like that.
Do you know how many approximate times it was?
It was a lot. I don't really remember.
What was Maurice doing while this was going on?
What can you do?
Who was in the room while this was happening?
It was me, brother, Brice, two other people, and Maurice. He's pretty much fighting, fighting, trying to, he made N1 stab him, and once N1 stabbed him, he kind of moved him to the door. He just had me standing there.
You were standing by the door?
He, two other people that was in there, I didn't really know. They was already there when we got there, so I'm thinking that, you know what I'm saying? In my mind, I couldn't do nothing but stand there, worrying if somebody's gonna do something to us for, trying to interrupt anything. So he went to he kind of took Maurice to the door. They all, well, I don't really remember who, but I just remember he going to the door, and Larry was in the bathroom. He made Larry come out, and the same thing happened to Larry. And once he did Larry, he made me stab Larry.
So I'm sorry to make you talk through this again, but I want to just get the picture of where everybody is. While Maurice was being stabbed, where was Larry?
He was in the bathroom.
How did Larry get to the bathroom?
The other two people put him in there.
Did Larry want to go to the bathroom?
They made him.
Could you hear Larry in the bathroom?
I don't really remember. I just know he was in the bathroom until Maurice was pulled out the living room.
After you said Brice Rhodes stabbed Maurice a lot of times, and then he made Anwan stab him.
Yes, ma'am.
Had Maurice stopped moving at that point?
I don't really remember, ma'am. I just know that he pulled him to the side and made Larry come out next.
How did he pull him to the side?
Put him by the door.
Was Maurice walking? Or was he down on the ground?
He was down.
And did he drag him to the door or carry him to the door?
I just remember he was, can I grab a tissue? I just remember he grabbed him to the door. He slid him to the door, and I don't know, man. And Larry came out. I just know he had somebody watching the door to make sure wasn't nobody coming in the house.
When Larry came out, could he, could he see what happened to his brother, or were his eyes covered?
Not that I remember.
You can't remember? Okay. So let's walk through what happened to Larry. I'm sorry, but how did it start? Was he tied up?
Same thing. I just remember that. I remember him trying to break free, and he pinned him down and began stabbing him. And then after he was down, he had me the knife and made me stab him as well.
How many times did Brice Rhodes stab Larry?
I don't recall. I don't really remember. I just know that he stabbed him.
To your knowledge, did he appear alive when you were stabbing him?
No, ma'am.
How many times did you stab him?
Just once or twice. After the fact that
Did Brice Rhodes say anything about why he was making you stab Larry?
I mean, not really. I just know once we was in it. There was no, we involved. Pretty much we there. We just, so we just as guilty as we there. Couldn't do nothing though. I mean, I was scared. So it was all scared. I don't know. I just know. Couldn't really say.
Did the other two guys participate in the stabbing in any way other than restraint?
Yeah, after the fact they was already down, he made them stab him as well.
Did you know these two guys at all?
Never seen him. Me and Anwar never seen him. I believe Maurice and Larry knew the other two guys, but we didn't know him.
Were you later able to give a description of either of them to Detective Sinelli?
Like brown skin or light skin or something like that, as far as I can remember.
So you described one of them as light-skinned and one of them as darker-skinned?
He was light skin.
Okay.
Brown skin, light skin.
Did you have anything else to go on? After Larry was down, what happened to his body?
The same thing. He moved him to the side of the door. He made us put him in like laundry totes or something like that.
Laundry totes? When they were, to back up 1 second, when they were in the living room, were they just on the carpet or was there anything down on the carpet? When they were kneeling down, if you recall, was it just they were on the carpet or was there a blanket down or anything? Sheets, anything?
I don't really recall.
Okay.
I don't remember.
So you all put them in laundry totes?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we talking like laundry hampers, like you would carry your
Yes, ma'am.
laundry down the steps in?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, they're in laundry totes. Now what happens?
He made. I just remember. He made all of us carry him to the car.
And which car was that?
The blue Mazda.
Did you all put them in the Mazda?
Yes, ma'am.
Where did the bodies go? Oh, like what part of the car?
It was either the back seat or it was the trunk. I don't really remember. I just know that he took the blue Mazda.
Okay. Did you all get in the car after that?
No, me and Anwar actually stayed back. He told us don't go nowhere. He made us clean up.
How did you clean up?
I just told Anwar, we gotta get out of here. And we gotta use bleach. We gotta use bleach to get this up. We just cleaned it. We cleaned it up with bleach.
What happened next?
Cleaned up until he got back.
He got back?
Yes, ma'am.
By he, who are we talking about?
Brice.
And did he come back alone?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he tell you what happened to the bodies?
Said that someone said it was burnt.
He said he burned them? Did he say who burned them?
No, ma'am. He just said he dumped them in the backyard.
And he told you the bodies were burnt?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he tell you where he dumped them?
West End somewhere.
West End?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was he satisfied with your all's cleaning job?
I don't know.
Did you all clean more when he got back?
He was just trying to dispose of all the evidence, pretty much.
So what happened with that?
He made me and Anwar clean the blood. When he got back, he was disposing of evidence. So,
What type of evidence?
it could have been clothes. It could have been, you said sheets. I don't really recall. I just know it was evidence.
And was it stuff with blood on it?
Yes, ma'am.
what did you all do with that stuff?
It was took to a dumpster and they burnt the stuff up.
Okay. Why didn't you and Anwan just leave during the night?
You said, why didn't we?
Why didn't you? While he was gone.
I was too scared, to be honest with you. I wasn't even in my right state of mind at that point. I mean, me personally, I never witnessed or seen nothing like that in my life, so. Man, I don't know why we didn't leave, man, to be honest. I just know we was scared. We just went along. We just did what he told us to do.
So when he got back, and you all dealt with the evidence, what happened next?
I just remember riding around and getting dropped off, as far as I remember.
Where'd you get dropped off?
I know we went to a few spots, but I don't really remember the spots we went to. I just know we took us somewhere. And I went home, and then N1, he got dropped off somewhere. So, I don't know. After that point, I went to my grandmother's house, and that was it.
Did you eventually, did you have a pair of black Timberlands?
Yeah,
Tell us about those.
Those was originally mine. Those were my boots that I got. I let Maurice have them at that time. I don't know if I had them on that day or, the situation. I don't know if I had them on that day. I just know they had blood on them. And then everything that I had on, I just was trying to get rid of. Stuff like that. The only thing I had was the boots on. And I just remember putting them in a closet at my girlfriend's cousin's house. And I put them in a closet. And I kept them there until I was picked up by police.
Was that Monisha Anderson?
Hmm?
Monisha, was that her name? Your girlfriend's cousin?
Yeah, Monisha Anderson.
And was that on Liberty Bell?
Yes, ma'am.
And after, were you arrested on this 3 days after it occurred?
I was arrested on May 25th after the 22nd. So, I was arrested. And I knew they was coming for me, obviously. They already arrested Brice and N1, so I knew they was coming for me.
And that day, did you talk to Detective Tonelli?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell him what you just told the jury on May 25th?
Around that time, everything, my first statement, I didn't.
What sort of statement did you give at that time?
I just told him that I didn't know.
Why did you say that?
Scared. I didn't know. I just didn't want to say what was going on at that time. Be honest, I really didn't want, I didn't know what to say, man. I didn't know. I just didn't tell him everything. I just remember saying certain things. I didn't really tell him everything that was going on in the situation.
Later on, did you give a different statement?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And what had changed at that point?
Everything I just said, pretty much, in the first one. Everything I just said.
Is this the true statement?
Yes, ma'am.
At some point, did you receive some correspondence from Brice Rhodes? A letter?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh. you, I'm just gonna go through these page by page before we talk about them with the jury, just to make sure that we have, we know what we're talking about. All right, do you recognize this page? Did Brice Rhodes give this to you? Okay. And what about this page? Did Brice Rhodes give this to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he give this to you?
Yes, ma'am.
And then the fourth page?
Yes, ma'am.
And did he give these four to you at the same time or different times?
It was the same time.
Okay. Did you see him as he gave these to you? Like you physically got these from him?
No, I didn't physically get them from somebody. Gave them to me.
Okay. Did you see that all take place?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, the Commonwealth moves to admit these.
Judge, we would object and move and ask to further.
Sure.
Mr. Taylor, did you recognize this as Brice Rhodes' handwriting?
I know it's passed to me. I don't know if he writes like that or not. That's what you asking.
Okay.
I don't know if he writes like that or not.
Sir, was any of this, was killing Christopher Jones your idea?
That was none of our idea. It was brought to us.
It was brought to you?
Yes,
Whose
ma'am.
idea was it?
Brice's idea.
Who shot Christopher Jones?
Brice.
Was killing Larry and Maurice your idea?
No, ma'am.
Whose idea was it?
Brice.
Who began the stabbing of Maurice Gordon?
Brice.
Who began the stabbing of Larry Ordway?
Brice.
Who told you to stab Larry Ordway?
Brice.
I have no further questions.
Thank you, Ms. Jones-Brown. Somebody need a break? Yeah, all right, let's take a 5-minute break. We'll be back outside the doors.